you can tell a new entrepreneur when they don't have an answer to, and what are you going to do after that? And what are you going to do after that? Because there's this mindset of just like, I just do my business. My business is the thing. I turn it on. This makes money. And I'm like, and you're going to do this when you're 80? You're going to do this when you're 90? Like every business is going to have a start and it's going to have a finish.
Welcome to the Growability Podcast, where we equip leaders and entrepreneurs to grow scalable, effective, and generous organizations. I am your co-host, Bernie Anderson, along with the founder of Growability, Joshua MacLeod. Joshua, what is our topic for today?
Bernie, today we have a really great topic. We're going to be talking about the 6 things that every leader should do to clarify vision at their organization. If you were to say, what are the top 3 reasons that a leader should have a clarified vision? 1 is when you have a clear vision, you are able to recruit a great team. 2, clarified vision allows you to spend your time and energy doing something that is meaningful to you. And 3, clarified vision makes everything you do just a little bit easier.
Yeah. So what you're saying, the team is impacted by your vision, your life is impacted by your vision, and your sanity is impacted by your
exactly
vision.
Right. If anything that makes life easier is good for your business. That's exactly right.
That's right. Well, when you say vision, Joshua, let's clarify. I don't know that people always know entirely what that means. So what is vision?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I think about vision, I actually like to think about vision as what you see your organization becoming. So vision, I'm thinking eyeballs, I'm thinking glasses. If I'm driving the car and there's a lot of smudges on the windshield, it's hard to see where I'm going. If you look in the dictionary, if you ask old Mr. Webster to define vision, or even if you ask Mr. Webster to define what is sight, what does the word see mean? Here's the definition that's in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. To see something is to recognize, to suppose, visualize, understand, to discover, to undergo, and to judge, to visit. When I think about vision is something that I recognize, that I suppose, that I visualize, that I understand, that I discover, that I undergo, that I judge, that I visit. Clarifying vision is the process where you're looking at the entirety of that organism that is your business or your nonprofit organization, and you're saying, hey, what do we see? What does this look like? Where is it going? What kind of fruit will this make? Clarifying your vision is not just a what process. Like, what's your vision? Oh, let me write that down. There's a ton of why. Why are you going to do that as an organization? So we designed the toolkit to help people not just think through the what, but also think through the why behind the what for each aspect of clarifying your vision.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Joshua, because one of the things that we've learned in Growability is that why power is a lot stronger than willpower.
Yeah, so true.
And until you really get down into the essence of this thing, why am I doing this thing? You're not going to really fully maximize the benefit of that thing. So I think that's such an important point. Earlier, Joshua, you mentioned that there are 6 things that leaders can do to clarify vision. What are those 6 things?
Yes. In the 6-step growability model, we have 6 toolkits that are important for growing your business, creating an effective and generous organization. The very first one is to clarify vision. In that clarify vision toolkit, there are 6 tools. The first is to understand your business season. The second is to define your market. The third is to define your competitive advantage. The fourth is to actually write down purpose, vision, mission, and value statements. The 5th is to create a community impact strategy. And then finally, the 6th step is to create what we call a mission map.
Let's do this, Joshua. Let's work through each one of these tools today. You mentioned understand your business season as being the first thing. So tell our audience what that means.
Yeah, Bernie, every business goes through seasons. And I think it's actually kind of a mark of maturity when a business owner starts thinking of their business as seasonal instead of just thinking of their business as like an on-off switch. You can tell a new entrepreneur when they don't have an answer to, and what are you going to do after that? And what are you going to do after that? Because there's this mindset of just like, I just do my business. My business is the thing. I turn it on. This makes money. And I'm like, and you're going to do this when you're 80? You're going to do this when you're 90? Like every business is going to have a start and it's going to have a finish. And it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to live in the present, right? It's not bad to just, hey, wherever you are, be all there. I love it. But if you operate your business like that, it's kind of like, it's not always going to be summer. And if you don't buy a winter jacket, winter is going to come and it's really going to be difficult. It's important to make sure that you understand the different season that's in your organization. So we liken the seasons that every business owner is going to go through as spring is like your startup, summer is growth mode, maturity, that's your fall, and then you have this renewal process or your legacy process, and that's your winter. So the very first step in clarifying vision is to really, we'll start by asking that entrepreneur if they have any clarity on the seasonality of their business, the life cycle of their business, like where they see this thing going in the future. Because if they don't have any idea, then it's going to be very challenging to create a vision. Because if you act like a startup when you're a company in maturity, you can go out of business.
Right.
But if you act like a company in maturity as a startup, you run out of money. So there's
and you go out of business.
So you got to know, hey, what season am I in? I got to do different things when I start, different things when I grow, different things when I mature, and then different things when I have a legacy or hand off or do something else with the business.
Yeah. It's funny, Joshua, because I think people think that a business is supposed to look the same all the time. And if you take seasonality out of it, it's like if a guy goes and only sees a tree in the wintertime, and it's like, trees are ugly. They're just gross.
Leaves on that thing.
They're just like this wooden. There's no leaves. They're just like dead wood in the ground. But if another dude he only sees trees in the springtime, he's like, what are you talking about? Trees are beautiful. They got flowers on them. They're like little green things. Well, I mean, businesses are changing all the time, like a tree. That's really important.
Yeah.
Understanding seasonality is crucial.
Yeah, it's the age-old thing, like, if you're only focused on arriving, if you're only focused on the end goal, then you lose all of the joy and the beauty in the journey. So clarifying vision is not just defining that end point of we're going to land the plane here. Okay, but what if flying that plane sucks for 20 years? Do you really want to do that? If you don't even know that there's different seasons in your business, you're definitely not going to enjoy it because you're not going to have the right jacket for winter. You're not going to have the swim shorts for summer. You're not going to have the whatever. What do you need in spring? The Flonase. You need the allergy medicine. The allergy medicine in spring. So that's why that's important.
That's good. Well, Joshua, what is the second tool? Seasonality is the first thing. What's the second tool for clarifying vision?
Yeah, the second step, the second tool when you're wanting to clarify the vision for your business or nonprofit organization is to take a really, really good look at the market. People get so excited about their idea, their business, their model, everything that makes them cool. And they forget that if they don't have a market, they don't have a business. The tree has to be planted in really healthy soil. One of the questions that I will ask our clients is, okay, your customer base as you have right now, is this going to be the same customer base that you have 20 years from now? Are your customers going to be exactly the same? And so many times, like, that question even goes, whoa, I don't know. And then it's like, well, are you prepared for the changes that happen in the market? When I look at the market, now I have to make a choice with how am I going to establish myself in the market? There's like 5 different ways that you can posture yourself in the market. You can posture yourself as the leader. You like the McDonald's, you can posture yourself as the challenger, this like, the Burger King. You can posture yourself as the disruptor. Well, we're gonna bring healthy food into the market. You can posture yourself as the price leader. Why pay more? Just come get the cheapest hamburger there is. Or you can posture yourself as like this niche market. Well, we are Five Guys. We do burgers, we do fries. That's all we do. Vision is not just what you see. Vision is also what you choose. Understanding the market allows you to choose what kind of business you're going to be in that market. How are you going to posture yourself? How are you going to build the capacity of your organization? So that's the second step of clarifying your vision. First, you look at the business seasons, then you look at the market and how you're going to posture yourself in the market.
Yeah. So what you're saying then, Joshua, is that before I start making a statement about what I see in the future, I need to look at what already is and make sure that I'm not just like having some kind of pipe dream, fever dream, pie in the sky kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk in entrepreneurialism. You can't have growth without risk. So entrepreneurs are people who are like, okay, I'm going to take a risk. If you risk wrong in your posture of the market position, if you risk wrong about where you fit and where you sit in the market, then you're going to join the statistic of organizations that go out of business. If you risk correctly, if you make qualified risks, it's one thing to bet on an idea. It's another thing to bet on a proven market. I think everyone is going to buy more hamsters in the next year. Well, okay. Do you have the market data to back that up? Because if the hamster market doesn't just expand rapidly, I don't know. No, everybody needs a hamster. I'm positive of it. My business is based on this thing. Everybody needs a hamster. Well, yeah, but if everybody isn't already buying a hamster, there's the likelihood that everybody's not going to buy a hamster. Yeah, so you got to look at your market.
Yeah. So Joshua, what's the third tool? What's the third tool we use in clarifying vision?
Bernie, the third tool to clarify vision is to get very, very specific and clear about your competitive advantage. What is it that allows you to gain market share? What is it that you can be best in the world at, to use the good to great quote? In Growability, we have that there's 4 ways that you can add value and gain market share with your business. 1 is convenience. 2 is consistency. 3 is capability, or 4 is connection. What we want to do in this third step of clarifying your vision is really get clear on what is our competitive advantage. Where do we add value as an organization better than everyone else?
Yeah. You consider your business season, consider your market, consider your competitive advantage. Someone is probably asking in our listening audience right now, when do we actually write a vision statement at some point?
That's probably important. There's probably a point in time in which you actually want to write that down. Once you understand your business seasons, once you understand your market, once you understand your competitive advantage, now you're actually prepped to start working on drafting and writing a vision, mission statement, value statement, things like this. There are some really important differences between a vision statement and a mission statement and a value statement and like a purpose statement. Purpose is the combination of passion and generosity. Vision is the potential future when living your purpose. Mission is the core activities of your organization that accomplish vision and create abundance. And values are the beliefs and promises that guide your mission. But it's critical that you define those ingredients correctly, or you'll just have the vision statement that hangs on the wall that nobody ever reads, that goes in the break room, that like it's not important to the culture of your organization. You know that your vision statement, your mission statement, your value statements are in tune with your team and yourself when they are important to the culture of the organization.
So, Joshua, what I am hearing you say is that in order to avoid getting a convoluted mission statement, you need to simplify that by making 4 separate statements regarding passion, mission, values, and vision, instead of trying to combine all that into one thing.
Yeah, when you write those things down for your organization, it becomes the foundation for creating culture. Culture needs definitions. Culture needs rules. We look at creating the vision, mission, value statements, not just as like some pithy statement of where we're going, but actually as the foundation for creating culture at your organization.
Yeah. So instead of keeping that all in your head, you should write it down. Why is that important? Why is it important to write all of these things down? Why does that matter?
Yeah, when you write something down, you're making a statement about what you believe. If you don't have clarity on your vision, you can't write it down. That's why it's important to go through all this whole process so that you can get clarity and then you can go ahead and write that down.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, writing really adds accountability.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, okay, but we're not done yet. We've got the vision statement written down. We've got vision, purpose, vision, mission, values all written down, but we're not done. We have 2 more tools. What is the 5th tool for clarifying vision, and why is this important?
The 5th tool that we bring into the vision statement process is creating a community impact strategy. Do you know what one of the most dangerous things in business is, Bernie? And even in nonprofit work, it's success. Because once you have success, it can go either one of 2 ways. It can go towards generosity or it can go towards greed. And all you have to do is open the newspaper and see those 2 paths. You see organizations and individuals that are generous path, and you see organizations and people that go greed path. Greed is going to breed corruption. Making money is just a stepping stone to power because, I don't know, we're hardwired to want power. Right. And so the only inoculation to greed and power is generosity. What I've seen and what I've learned, and it's counterintuitive, is the more money you have, the harder it gets to give money away because you get so ingrained in this investment mindset. I can take $1 and turn it into 10. I can take 10 and turn it into 1,000. I can take 1,000 and turn it into 1,000,000. Well, I don't want to take 1,000,000 and give it away. I want to take 1,000,000 and turn it into 1,000,000,000. So you've got all these entrepreneurs with millions and millions of dollars in the bank, and they're just like, they have a harder time giving $10,000 than the guy that has $10,000 in the bank and is just like, hey, I'm here to serve people. So the only way you can protect yourself from greed is to be generous. And so we build that right into the vision process to say, hey, what's your community impact strategy? If you're not careful with wealth, then the wealth starts to own you instead of you owning the wealth. And that is the most miserable situation we've all met miserable people and consultants. Like our world is like some people super healthy, some people super not healthy. And it's like, I know that I have a dangerous situation when I can't even talk to the client about being generous because it's like an uncomfortable subject. And I'm like, oh no, I might not be able to help this one. Like, this is terrible. But so we build that right in. We build generosity right into the vision statement. Having a community impact strategy is a critical part of being an entrepreneur.
Joshua, we really, at the end of the day, we want to prevent our clients from becoming Ebenezer Scrooge and like counting out the money and when having my piles of money that I'm going to make following the Growability model because it works, right?
We do not want our clients haunted by ghosts. And that is actually, but when you think about it, there's a lot in that. We do not want our clients haunted by ghosts.
It's good. That's good. That's so good. Powerful stuff. Well, we have one final tool to talk about. What is the final tool in the Growability Clarify Vision Toolkit?
Yeah. So, Bernie, the final of 6 tools that I believe are fundamentally necessary for an organization to clarify vision is to create what's called the mission map. A mission map is kind of a summary to prove that you have a good vision for your organization. So the first step is to take a good look at where you are. there's a common tool in business called a SWOT analysis. So I look at my organization and I say, here's my strengths, here's my weaknesses, here's my opportunities, and here's the threats. Strengths and weaknesses are often like internal. Opportunities and threats are often out in the market. The first step of that mission map is to say, okay, where are we now? This is where we're at.
Yeah.
The second step is that 20-year vision out in the future. And so we use the big, hairy, audacious goal question. Like where could this thing go 20 years from now? When you're looking at, if this organization scales to its full potential, where could this thing go? What's the big, hairy, audacious goals? Once you have your BHAGs, your big, hairy, audacious goal clarified, the third thing is that you look at 3 years from now. We don't do 5-year plans, 10-year plans, all this other stuff, because technology moves so fast that even if I start creating and thinking past 3 years from now, there's going to be some new invention that just changes everything, or, so a pandemic or, whatever, something's going to change. But having a 3-year plan is really good. And then finally, in light of that, in light of where you are today, where you could be in 20 years, where you want to be in 3 years, then you create your 1-year plan, and we create what are called GPS goals. The G stands for growth, the P stands for purpose, and the S stands for stability. So 1 year from now, where do we want to be in terms of growth? 1 year from now, where do we want to be in terms of purpose, like why we exist as an organization? And 1 year from now, where do we want to be in terms of stability? And so that's your GPS goal. So the mission map, if you have a mission map, you know where you are, you know where you're headed, you know what your milestones are, and you can set your goals. That is an organization that has a clarified vision, and that organization is so strong. It makes everything easier. It makes everything better. There's a proverb that says, where there is no vision, people perish, but happy are those who keep the law. And it's like the law in your business is kind of like your plan. What's your strategy? How are you going to implement this thing? Well, people are happy if they're working towards something. If you don't even know where you're going, nobody on your team knows where they're going. And people they atrophy. That you atrophy, your team atrophies. Having that clear vision is so, so important. The mission map proves that you have all of that together, at least in your head, but then get it down on paper like we were talking about.
Yeah. Well, I love it, Joshua, because a Growability client at the end of going through the Clarified Vision Toolkit has a map and a GPS.
Yeah, you need both of those. What? That's exactly right.
I got to have both of those, or I'm not going anywhere.
Map,
especially this directionally challenged guy here. So, well, Joshua, tell our listening audience how they can get this toolkit. We've overviewed it. How do they get the Clarified Vision Toolkit for their business?
Yeah, so our vision is to impact as many entrepreneurs as possible. So we've made this entire toolkit available for $300. So you can get the business seasons and the market and the competitor analysis and the vision, mission, values, templates, and all that stuff. It's $300. If you send an email to info@growability.com, we'll get you set up. If there's any of the 6 steps in Growability that I don't recommend a DIY, like this is probably not best to do it yourself. This would be one, because it takes a lot to draw vision out of people. And so this is where I would highly recommend working with a coach, or if you have a mentor in your life, somebody that can really, that's been there, done that, that's a lot farther down the road than you, and they can speak into these things. Well, then, give them the toolkit and say, hey, help me answer all these questions. But definitely this is one that warrants getting some good coaching.
Yeah, so true. Believe that too. Well, Joshua, that's really all we have time for today. Do you have any closing remarks for our folks here today?
I'll just circle back to where we started. Why clarify vision for your organization? Well, number one, if you have a clear vision, you're going to be able to recruit a really incredible team. Number two, if you have a clear vision, you're going to be able to spend the majority of your time doing things that you want to do and that you are intentional and purposeful and meaningful. And number three, if you have a clear vision, everything else as your organization gets a little bit easier. Vision, and we get into this later, vision is that foundation for strategy. If you don't have a clear vision, you're going to have a really hard time making a good strategy. We'll talk about that podcast in the coming weeks. So,
yeah, I love that. Well, very good. Well, with that, we want to remind all of you that you are doing better than you think, that you have more potential than you know, and we thank you for growing with Growability. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast and to our YouTube channel, and share this with people that you really like. And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.